Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we have several empty seats up here in the front, and I'm sure Commissioner Blake, Dr. Commissioner Blake, how do you say that correctly? Is it Dr. Commissioner? Dr. Commissioner Blake. Commissioner Dr. Blake. I'm sure Commissioner Dr. Blake would like to see all of the lovely faces up here in the front. We have at least 10 seats empty. So please do come up. If you have to leave early, we don't mind. Thank you so much. Wonderful folks in the jacket. I'm sure these are Hi, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. My name is Khalid Thompson. I am one of the co-founders of Island Space Caribbean Museum. We are the first and only pan-Caribbean heritage museum in the world. That means that within our walls, you can see the history and the culture and the traditions of, yes, Jamaica and Haiti and Cuba and the Dominican Republic and Trinidad and the entire Caribbean region. And we're not going anywhere else to find that. So we're very proud of that accomplishment. You can see artwork here. It changes out every 4 to 4 months. And this is the place where we embody the spirit of being one Caribbean and having one story. So we invite you to keep coming back. We host the Consul General's Distinguished Lecture Series here every month under the patronage. Actually, his event, we're just working here for him. But let's say under the patronage of Oliver Mayer, Consul General Oliver Mayer, and it really has become a distinguished event that multiple people come and enjoy each month. If this is not your first time here, please raise your hand. If it is your first time here, please raise your hand. Okay, welcome to Island Space. Hopefully you did a tour of the museum. If you have not yet, when this is done, I will take Commissioner Dr. Blake on the tour if anyone would like to join us. You're welcome to do so. Again, just keep coming back. We are in a time in the world where people are kind of trying to erase anything that is referred to as diversity, and we are, by our very nature, diversity in this space. We represent Black and white and Hispanic and Asian and all the various cultures that make up our region. And we just want to continue to support the museum. I'll leave it at that, and I will welcome. There, are you there? Okay, and I will welcome our very dear friend. Engineer. I do tend to ask for money. This is a non-profit organization. I'm not going to do it right now, but if it happens that I ask for money a little bit later, I'm going to ask you to be very generous and do what you can to do anything for us. All right, Engineer.
When I come up, we like a round of applause. Come again, come again. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank each of you for coming out here this evening. This is our monthly lecture series. We've been doing this now for a year and a half. We have only the very best. So if you're invited to come and speak at this event, means that you have a right. Right? Good. I want to thank before I begin, I just want to recognize all our sponsors. I want to thank Island Space for producing this event with us each month, being flexible and supportive of the effort. We're streaming live on the Consulate's Facebook page, so you can share the link with anybody around the world. You can watch this event. I want you to turn to the person beside you and say, "Make glad you come here." And shake them hand, Make glad you come here. If you don't have anybody beside you, just act like you're shaking their hand. Make glad you come here. One feature we have each month is that we just allow the community to say a few words about their upcoming event. I would like to start off by alerting that next week, Friday, you're hearing it first, we will host the Most Honorable Dr. Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, to a town hall meeting here next week, Friday. Round of applause. There's going to be a Christway Baptist starting at 7 p.m. You can go now on Eventbrite to book your tickets. They will be limited seating, all right? We just put out the event today and it's already filling up quite fast. So I encourage you to reserve your seat for next week, Friday, all right? Prime Minister Forum .eventbrite.com. But you can go to my Instagram. How many people are on Instagram? That's what I show you. Instagram? All right. So just follow my page right now. Just follow the page, and you will see the flyer in a few minutes. I don't put it up yet. I'm going to put it up in a few minutes. All right. So that is number one. Our annual 5K happens on May 10th. We're asking you to come out and support. It's going to be at Miramar. You can register JamaicaHigh5KRun.com. All right, we have adopted 5 clinics in Jamaica and we support the healthcare mission. All right, many of you have been a part of it. 90% of the persons walk. At the end of the race, we give everybody free cornmeal porridge, jerk chicken, Blue Mountain coffee, and everybody says, "We get all of that for little money." Yes, because we have good sponsors. And we're able to support healthcare in Jamaica. So, with no further ado, we have a gentleman, every month he comes, he provides our cocktails, and I'm hoping one day he will say, "Boy, CG, would love you to come in as a part owner of the business." I'm just kidding. But I want to welcome my good friend Sean. Come forward, Sean. Every time I get Sean the mic, and chicken out, I tell him say come and then he'll come. But he has brought somebody better to come forward and say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. I'm a part of Coconuts and Cocktails, and we're very proud of our product. We've spent a long time working out all the things that we have to get done, and we have it down to a science. So anybody who has any kind of engagement or anything, feel free to give us a call. We're readily available. And what I wanted to talk about today is the art of working together. If we work together, we can get so much more done. And I don't see why the Asians can do it, the Italians can do it, the Jewish community can do it. Why can't the Caribbean community come together and work together towards what we can achieve? So let's get it done, folks. All right, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you very much. We support our coffee industry. Today you're going to be treated to Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. We flew up the president of the Coffee Growers Association just for today. Well, not quite. He was in the area. Actually, not quite so. We see him in the mall last year with good stuff. My good friend, he's one of Jamaica's finest table tennis players, but he's also one of the largest coffee growers. He has one of the largest farms in Jamaica. Mr. Donald Salmon, come forward, sir. You have 30 seconds to just say a few words. We're supporting Blue Mountain Coffee. So it's not just about the lecture, we're supporting our Jamaican businesses at the same time. Mr. Salmon, please make you welcome.
Good evening to you all. I'm just representing the Coffee Growers. Anyone from the Blue Mountain? You were born in that area, grew up in that area here? Not really. But what I have, well, same, we're talking. What I have is just a sample from Blue Mountain Coffee here. And as he said, I'm in the area, and he talked and I spoke with you and said, "Come, I didn't have a chance." So I'm here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salmon. You know, when you have a boxing match, you have the preliminary bouts before you're going to the main event of the evening, right? So we're coming to the main event, don't worry. I'm going to invite the president, member from the ex-police association, just to come up. Ladies and gentlemen, today we need to pick up all our police, past and present. Let's ask all ex-police to stand at this time. Could you stand? All members of the ex-police. Let's give them a big round of applause. Today we're going to celebrate gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen who have done a stellar job for Jamaica. Some of the amazing results you will hear later. We also want them to know that they have been a part of that success, and we thank them for their service over the years. So I'm going to allow Mr. President to say a few words, Mr. Wallace.
Thank you very much, Consul General, Mr. Oliver Mayor. I just want to acknowledge Commissioner of Police, Dr. Kevin Blake, my apologies, and to our elected officials, members of the former members of the Jamaica Constabulary, and all our distinguished guests. I just want to say thanks for this opportunity. The Jamaica Ex-Police Association, South Florida, JCF, celebrates 33 years this year. It was formed in 1992 under the guidance of the late Clifton Finley, who passed away just last month. And JCF came out of the desire to help a detective from Jamaica who was injured in the line of duty and was flown here to South Florida for treatment. Somewhere along the line, this treatment was stopped because of payment, and it was brought to the attention of Mr. Finley, and he jumped around, got some other ex-police officers together, and formed this association. Our focus is giving back, and to that end, every year we have a mission trip to Jamaica. And for the last about 70 years on that mission trip, the members of the association identify a police station in the parish and we do what we call refurbishing project. We take the station, we give appliances such as refrigerators, stoves, microwaves. Other projects that we are identified with is the basic school in Burn Savannah, St. Elizabeth. We have adopted that school, and when we adopt something, we have to take care of it. We also give medical appliances to the convalescent home in St. Elizabeth as well, like wheelchairs, beds, walkers, etc. But our big focus is on scholarships. Every year we give out 2 scholarships. One here in South Florida to a student who is attending a university or a technical school, and we give out one in Jamaica to high school students. Now you might ask, where do we get the funds from for these projects? Every year we have an annual ball, and from that proceed, we give out the scholarships and fund projects in Jamaica. This year our ball will be at April 26th, and we're all invited to come. If you need any further information, regarding the board, you can see me or any one of the members of the association. Thank you, Consul General.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So, thank you very much. Mr. Jones, you're just 30 seconds, Mr. Jones. I want to recognize our resident MC, Big G, Mr. Garth Hendricks. So you're 30 seconds.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Derek Jones. I'm the president of the Jamaica Police Association of Palm Bay/Port St. Lucie. Unlike our big brothers, we're just 2 years old. We started 2 years ago, but this is going to be our first trip to Jamaica, where we also did that. I was from New York, where we did it in the Bronx. I was the president of the Bronx chapter. We've done it. So we moved to Florida here, and we're continuing the legacy. We're having a gala on this coming Saturday, where our commissioner is going to be our guest speaker. We are going to get back just the same to Jamaica. 2 weeks ago, the 9th of March, leave our basic school in St. Elizabeth. So we have taken it for ourselves. The library was destroyed, and we're going to make a contribution in refurbishing the library. So these are some of the things that we're doing. We're bringing back to the convalescent soul just the same as our big brothers are doing. So support everything that we're doing. We see our name, Jamaica Police Association of Palm Bay, Port St. Lucie. All of this is for worthy cause. Give it back to Jamaica. Last 2 years we did it in Florida. We're taking it home this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to just recognize, in Commissioner in South Florida, we have 27 Jamaicans who have ascended to leadership position in politics. 27. One of them is here, and I must tell you, he's always very supportive of our events. You can listen to him on the radio in the morning. Who am I speaking about? Commissioner John T. Let's give him a big round of applause. And his better half, Marie. Let's keep it. I also want to acknowledge former Commissioner, former Vice Mayor, Mr. Mark Douglas there, from Sunrise. To Mark. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, you would have seen some of the media reports yesterday. People were nervous about visits happening to Jamaica. And then out came news that we're going to be looking at this travel advisory once and for all. How many people excited about that? Make some noise, man. Come on. I don't like that. Thank you, clap. The travel advisory has impacted our hotel industry in a big way. Despite the challenges, Jamaica last year recorded its best year ever in tourist arrivals. Despite the challenges, 4.1 million visitors to Jamaica. So imagine if they lift up the advisory and us what is going to happen, right? So we're encouraged by that. And you're going to hear some more about that. But the gentleman who is our distinguished speaker today is someone who has distinguished himself in the service. He has done extremely well. In fact, the entire police force has done very well. And we are excited about the results. They didn't come overnight. Lots of hard work. Just like when you see somebody lose weight steadily over the years, they're working out and they're getting fitter and fitter and fitter. Maybe for the first 2 years, you don't quite see the weight loss. But after a while, it's a trim the body. And that's what we have here. The police force has become one of the finest in the world. That is a pause for that. So I'm going to invite my good friend SP Rowe to come and do the formal introduction of our distinguished Commissioner of Police, Dr. Blake. Let's give SP Rose a round of applause.
Thank you, CJ. So according to CJ, you are speaking here, you have made it. I'm just repeating so that my wife can hear. As CJ said, I am Patrick Rose, Superintendent of Police, and we are certainly pleased to be sharing our Commissioner of Police, Dr. Kevin Blake, with you this afternoon. Dr. Blake is the 30th Commissioner of Police since they started to count the amount of police officers, the amount of commissioners serving force, and of course the 15th native of Jamaica Commissioner of Police. He is a transformational leader. Certainly the achievements that he has seen, that we have seen under his leadership. Just last week we celebrated his first year in office, and the achievement that he has proceeded over certainly has been extravagant and flamboyant, but it is by no means the kind of person that he is. Even tells me that he's a humble servant who is always pleased to serve the people, and this evening he'll be doing just that, to extend himself to our Jamaican family abroad. Certainly he will be less nervous because a number of the folks here are familiar faces. And I wanted to help me to welcome our Commissioner of Police, Dr. Kevin Blake.
So I was wondering, why am I here? But it's a very good look standing here and looking at everyone here and the past. It is heartening in Jamaica to see the type of support and connection that we, the diaspora, have back with our own homeland. And my presentation here today, if I can manage to keep your attention for another. How many hours have CG for 4 hours? Yeah, when I tell my staff that I'm going for an hour and the last presentation I did was 59 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'm going to share and better it today. But today we just want to have a discussion around not just policing and law enforcement, but what does policing and law enforcement means to national development. I think it's a topic that would be of interest to you. The fact that you're here, the fact that so many of you from so many different industries and organizations are here today, because we have one common goal, one common mission, and it is to ensure that that piece of rock, that beautiful piece of rock by Jamaica, remains safe and prosperous. Right? And so we think it is important that the discussion that we have today, I know it is called CG lecture, but a lecture is something where I come and speak to you later on the research after, but this is really a discussion. And so I hope it's an open one, stop me at any time whatsoever, and ask any questions or any clarification that you so desire. So we're going to look at our role as an organization, as a JCF, in not just national development, but sustainable national development. How do you ensure that your growth and your development is maintained and sustained? Right? And what role does the JCF play in that? We're going to speak briefly about our transformation. So we hear about transformation, but many times when we speak to more than one person, we get different understanding of what we mean when we talk about transformation. What is it that we're doing? Right? And the three pillars of our transformation. Then we're going to look at a strategy that we're able to embark on because of where we are in our transformation, because of who we know are, the strategy that we were able to embark on the results, and then find out that. So that is the flow for the next couple of minutes. I realize that you may not be able to see the screen, so bear with me as I read some of these things. You know, I was thinking, how do I relate the importance of security and national development? What words do I use to show that connection the way I want to show it? And so what I did, I went online and I drew for some wiser persons than I am who have articulated it very well. Sorry. The computer through so that then I have to read. And the other slides I could go on without. Okay. Right, great. So, Kofi Annan says that without security, there can be no development. Without development, there can be no security. I just make a little link between the development of your nation and security. Ronald Reagan says that the first duty of government is to protect its people. Ban Ki-moon, that famous president of Singapore, remember, I know the story about Singapore and Jamaica and the model that was taken from Jamaica and now Singapore is a floating nation, says that security and development are two sides of the same coin. Franklin D. Roosevelt said that the first wealth is security. Without it, progress collapses under the weight of uncertainty. All right? Peace and security are not only fundamental for economic growth, but also for social progress and sustainable development. And as Antonio Guterres, Barack Obama said that the rule of law and security are the cornerstones of a prosperous and stable society. And then we have Paul Kagame, and he is the well-known Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, that miraculous transformation that Rwanda made over a couple of years, says that security is the foundation of every successful economy. And without stability, investment and growth are impossible. These are things we can relate to. But then we have three unknown but wise, nonetheless. That says economic development cannot take root in a society plagued by crime and insecurity. The next one says that secure nation is a prosperous nation. Without security, progress is a dream deferred. And the final one, no country can develop without ensuring the safety and security of its people and its institutions. I think we have made the point of the significance of what we do in national development and sustainable national development. Now, what we have to understand is what we talk about the JCF, right? Security, whilst we have other areas or other agencies within the public sector or the public safety domain, that's whose responsibilities around security. Police has the bigger chunk of that responsibility. Now the JCF is the police force. The JCF has that responsibility. When we talk about the JCF, what we're talking about primarily are the people in the JCF, it's people. So all that security that we're talking about has to be delivered by the people. And so it is important that the people themselves understand it like this, right? Many persons who are here who are ex-members know that there are times when you are serving that you're on the road doing a stop work, and all you can think about is when that 8-hour shift ends or that 12-hour shift. And as far as you're concerned, this is what you do. You're just doing a shift, right? Not fully understanding sometimes. Even though you understand it, you don't think sometimes about it. What exactly you're doing, what contribution you're making to the building of a nation, right? And I use this example, it says that, so there are 3 men breaking stones, right? And someone went up to the first one and asked him, what is it that you're doing? And the first one said, I'm just earning a living, I'm breaking some stones, that's what I did before, and that's what I do. The second one, they asked him, what is it that you're doing? They do the very same work. And that man says, I'm building a wall. Probably that wall is something else, but for now, what I'm concerned about is that breaking stones to build that wall. Right? So it's perspective, same thing that you're doing, but understanding why you're doing it. And then the third person they went to, they said, what is it that you're doing? Why is it breaking the stone just like the other two persons? He said that, well, I'm building the most magnificent cathedral the world has ever seen. You get the message? I'm sure. But we're saying, when our officers, if we are going to be that agent that is going to secure that critical part of our society, we have to understand what is it, the end game is, what the vision is, what we're doing. We have to take police mind away from just basic policing, doing an 8-hour shift solely around law enforcement. It is beyond law enforcement. It is beyond law enforcement. If you have a car and the water pump doesn't work, as insignificant as someone thinks the water pump is, it will not go. Someone may say the car has 4 tires, I can get rid of one. It will not go. Everything has a role to play. That makes that machine drive. So that's what we have to see ourselves. So we have to, when we talk about transformation on our people, this is the first thing we have to do, transform the mindset of people think about what they do, or people think about what they do. Right? And so everything that we do is hinged around that big picture. Right? As an organization, we understand it. As leaders of the organization, we understand it. But we have to get down to the last joint council to understand what they do. Right? Yesterday, I was speaking with the Ministry of Tourism, Honorable Ed Bartlett, and he said that, as CG mentioned, over 4 million tourists arrive in the country. And I was saying to him that my goal is to get the consul, the last joint consul, who did an 8-hour tour of duty on Gloucester Avenue. Anybody know Gloucester Avenue in Montego Bay? That 8-hour tour of duty on Gloucester Avenue, to take pride and say, it is because of how I conducted that duty. Why? This is my role, my contribution in ensuring that we have safe space for visitors, and take credit for that and take ownership. You have to enough my police now, they tell you. They don't talk to you as police officers, as law enforcement officers. They speak to you as nation builders. And that's where we need to get. And so everything that we do is around that. So our strategic role, as we understand it, creating a crime-free business environment, right? Creating safe public spaces and responding to natural disasters, and also to be a transparent and effective law enforcement, all goes towards achieving Vision 2030, vision, making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business, right? And that is directly linked toward national goal number 2, which is making Jamaica, the Jamaican society, secure, cohesive, and just. And that it doesn't stop there, it goes directly into the UN, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, particularly 8, 11, and 16. And so everything that we do, I was speaking to an individual about 2 weeks ago. We had a lecture, a training session, a course with the Sandal Corporate University. And it's a course that was designed by Sandal and the JCF, or the leadership within Year 1. Year 1 is really St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, the city tourist edge. And they designed a course so that the managers of that area can understand this industry called tourism and the role in it far better. But they didn't design the course and hand it to the police. They work with the same participants to design that course so that they can understand us and we can understand them, so that we give the best product to Jamaica. The next course, I went to the graduation and I was speaking with Mr. Godfrey, his wife, Mrs. Lara. And she was saying that many years ago, when she was a young kid, driving from Westmoreland to St. James, that street, there was some particular street there that was, rife with activity, nightlife, and especially on the weekend. There were jerk chicken vendors, people playing dominoes and stuff like that. But then many years ago that died, and it's like a ghost town driving through. And the reason why she mentioned it to me is that she said that over the last couple of months, since last year, she realized that the activity is slowly coming back. And on her way to that graduation, on her way, I mean, the evening before, she could not believe the extent of the activities that is taking place along the street. If these people did not feel safe, they would not have ventured out. And it's because they were not safe like that. I know everyone that came out and comes out and sell something and do business. These are persons that use proceeds of that to send their children to school. So these are industries that we need to protect. And this is all, we do what we do. And so the fact that this is an awesome responsibility that we have, and we carry that weight of helping to develop a nation on our shoulders. And the fact that, as I mentioned before, that the JCF is actually the people, the police. It means therefore that tool that you're going to use to deliver that level of security must be in top shape. Agree? Because you can't take, everybody understand this here, you can't take a broken down car to a restaurant and expect to get good results. They have to first fix the car. That's what informed our transformation. And I'm going to tell you, transformation didn't happen 6 years ago. It didn't happen 1 year ago when I became commissioner. Transformation in the JCF, as this is my 23rd year as a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And I was introduced to transformation from its beginning. Right? I can speak to when I joined on the Francis Force in 1990, corporate strategy. My younger friends telling me, I remember. The challenge we had with transformation then over the years is that it was never invested at a level where strategic and executive decisions can be made, could have been made. And so you find it as a unit in our department in our formation. And what it means is that depending on the interest of that commissioner at the time, the rate at which we transform fluctuates. And so the end result is marginal improvement. So transformation never stopped. No commission has ever come in since I've been a member of the organization that has not advanced transformation. However, in the last couple of years, what we have done is created an entire portfolio. And for ex-police members, you know that the portfolio is the second level below the commissioner, deputy commissioner. So we created a portfolio which is specific mandate to carry forward transformation. It means, therefore, it doesn't matter which commissioner comes and what is his interest on that day. There is a deputy commissioner that can make executive decisions that will not stop the process of transformation. Right? And so that's how we ensure that we have not just sustainable development transition, but also sustainable transformation. You know, you hear the saying 2 steps forward, 1 step backward, or 1 step forward, 2 steps backward, depending on how you look at it. And so our previous transformation over the years was 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. So it's marginal improvement. So it could be 1 step forward, 2 steps backward if you're not careful, and if you do not make it sustainable. So that's what we do. You don't recognize this better. Thank you. All right, cool. So now that we agree that we have to make that tool that is going to create that secure space in our society so that businesses can thrive. Now we can all look at how have we been creating that, especially over the last couple of years. And so we decided that if we look at three basic pillars, the idea is to take a complex job and break it into simple parts. That's how you get things done. And let me tell you, we are one of the largest organizations in the Caribbean and one of probably the most complex. We operate in the most complex security environment in the side of the world. We are one of the oldest institutions. We are 158 years old. And so transforming an organization like that is not easy. Very few institutions are as entrenched in their culture than policing, must be university and churches, and then policing. Right? And so it requires thinking, it requires deliberate thinking and planning. And so we look at what 3 areas that we need to cover in order to achieve this transformation. So we needed to look at our people first and foremost. It's not coincident why it is people the first, because also our primary resource. We could buy as many technology tools as possible, beautiful vehicles, and magnificent infrastructure. And if the people themselves are not transformed in their minds, then we'll never move an inch. So the first thing we look at is the people. So it's our PQT, our people, quality, and our technology. So we look at the people. We have to look at our quality. Quality being our quality management system or service that we deliver, the service that the people deliver, and then the technology that enables all of that. And we decide that if we can fix those 3 things properly, then we will have a transformed force. All right? And so we're going to run quickly through this transformation agenda that we have and what do we mean. So the first thing, we're going to talk about the people. Transformation, the people that are concerned. One of the first thing we look at is the number of persons that we have. And why is that important? Because the people that deliver the service, and if they don't have the people to deliver the service, it is going to impact the service you deliver. So when you call, that's a pro that is in your AR. And instead of having 10 officers available and motivated, I have 2 officers dealing with someone else, then 10 minutes in which I respond will now become 20 minutes. And so the service I deliver to you, because of the inadequacy of persons, is going to be less, it's going to affect it. And so we have to look at the number. Why did we look at the number? So we have what we call establishment, and our establishment is the number of persons that you are allowed to have in the organization. And then we look at our strength. The strength is the number of persons you actually have. Our establishment is 14,091, meaning that you have not to be above that. There's some leeway that you have because you know the strength fluctuates. But, from the time I left Jamaica until now, it would have changed because people resign, people die, people retire. And so because of that, they are allowed to go a little above their establishment. The establishment is 14,091. And for many years, many years, we have been operating thousands below our establishment, meaning our strength was so much lower than what we have was so much lower than what we should have. And so it means, therefore, if we're going to transform, we have to now embark on a massive recruitment drive. And that we did to the extent that even during COVID, and everywhere lockdown, one place that you're certain that was stood up, and it's our training school. So training continued. And we had an objective of recruiting 1,250 persons per year over the 4-year period in order to accommodate attrition, meaning that people that leave. And within that 4 year, we have reached our establishment. It means, therefore, if we had relented during COVID on that, we would not have reached our establishment within the 4th year. And so we have to find ingenious ways of continuing training, and it is immersive. What you said is not something you can just stand there and tell people. It's an immersive field. You have to be in the field. So people are there even during COVID, but they never serious challenge. So we continue. And so we successfully recruited. And for the first time in recent memory, we're actually operating at our establishment for the first time. All right, great. So, what we didn't just, so we told them that the establishment is 14,091. Somebody looked at us and said, you must have 14,091 police. No more. And he asked him, where get the number from? And so many times when we talk about, we hear people talk about police sufficiency, adequacy. We hear things like, most common one we hear is police citizen ratio. You ever hear any other means of determining the number of police units? For my police colleagues here, any other method, police citizen ratio. So here people say that why Barbados have X 1 to 400, so and so have 1 to 300. They're doing better than Jamaica, because Jamaica have 1 to 700 whatsoever. But that is not the best approach to determine how many police you need. There are many more variables than population that determines the adequacy of policing. We know that there are communities here in Florida that may have the very same population size as communities in West Kingston. And the one patrol car that you may put in that community with just a one policeman in it certainly couldn't work in West Kingston. And so it takes more than just police population ratio. It is further distinct from the truth that is a universal suitable approach to determining police. And so we didn't take that. So what we have done what many persons wanted to do, and probably wasn't bold enough, and it's not the end of the thing. And it's just to develop a model using mathematics based on expert systems to more accurately determine how many police we need. There are some police officers who are actual scientists and have a background in software development and computing. And so we got together, we developed that model. Many countries have started to try that and have not been successful in doing it. What we did, we used 4 variables: population, transient population, crime index, and non-crime services. Crime index is a weighted average. And weighted average is basically you take all the crimes that you have, major crimes, you apply a weight to the crime between 0 and 1, 1 and 10, and that number represents the weight of that crime to you. And so the weight that you put on a particular crime shows the significance of that crime to you. I don't know if you're following me. That's why you call a weighted average, and then you add them up and get the average. Now, why did we use a weight? Because it's a mathematical model, and it was based on the principles of expert system. When we talk about expert system, it is a software system that is developed to mimic or to mirror how an expert in real life thinks. And so we have people who are and these veterans and people, we have people who have developed a certain knowledge that is not documented anywhere, not taught to them anywhere, but learn it over time, understand their role in such a way that, and that's why knowledge management is important. It's another field of study where organization seek to manage the knowledge in the organization. Because when people retire with immense amount of knowledge and information are two different stuff. Information can be easily written down and you can go look at it in a library. Knowledge is the thing that these guys know, not written down anywhere, and you ask them, how on earth do you know how to do this? And they themselves have to think because they developed over years. And so it is built around the principle of expert system. So what we did, we gave it a subjectivity, some level of subjectivity, meaning that we allow an individual to help place his experience within the model itself. And that's what we have the weights. And I'll give an example. Clarendon is a division, the high crime division. That's a gangs operating in Clarendon. So then the commanding officer in Clarendon may put a heavy weight on pre-deal larceny. I said, pre-deal larceny, farming, I have people who murder people. Whilst man in West Kingston put a heavier weight on maybe murder or shooting, but guess what? Pre-deal larceny is what fuels gangs in Clarendon. So you allow that expertise of the Clarendon commander to weigh in, literally weigh in on the model and place a subjective weight on that. And so that's what we did, and we developed the model. And we tested it with about 6 experts, very top commanders, subdivisions, and we ask them, if you had all the person that you need to do what you want to do, just work out your plan, and we come back to you tomorrow, and you give us a number. And then we run the model and in that station with the variables, and you'll be surprised to see the results. Most of them, I think the widest variance we had was about 8 persons. The model produced the almost exact numbers as the expression. And so we have that, and we can say, we can post that. I mean, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we did that. I could say, but nowhere in the world that has ever been done. I don't know if anybody has done it since. And so that's what we did. And that model informed us that our establishment should be 18,800 and something. Right? So we developed that. So for the first time, we know we can justify empirically how many police officers we need. Alright? So we just spoke about the numbers. So we're talking about the people, still remember the people, quality, technology. Right? So we spoke about the people. Now that you have the people, we have to now revisit how we prepare and develop the people. So we look at our training. How do we train our people? We have revamped everything around training. And so we have to first look at the institution that delivers training, that prepares your members. And we're talking about all levels, from civilian to police, training persons from civilian to police, and from deputy commissioners to commissioner, which is our National Police College of Jamaica. NPCJ last year was the recipient of one of the world's most coveted accreditation for law enforcement training academy. We were the recipient of the International Association of Directors of Law Enforcement Standards and Training, IDLS. So we were the co-recipient of that, and it makes us one of only 34 police training academy in the world to ever achieve that. And that's our NPC. And so this is the institution that now takes our civilian ladies and gentlemen and turn them into police officers. We also look at what happens now that you're a police officer. Our members, our former members will understand when we talk about in-service training, persons who are in the service. And so we sought and obtained accreditation from the University Council of Jamaica for our criminal justice program and our law enforcement instructor development program. And this law enforcement instructor development program, meaning that you don't just get a policeman or somebody out on the road and say, come deliver this course on me. The course that prepares our instructors itself have to be accredited, and those are accredited. And we're in the process of pursuing accreditation for CID men and women, for criminal investigation training. Also in general policing is what is our basic training, and also our command leadership and management. And we have achieved in our driver training school the only such training school in the Caribbean that is an accredited training organization under NCT. We have all of those accreditation institutions. So that is from rank and file, that is from civilian to police all the way up to inspectors. Now for deputy superintendent, we have 2 basic training. And the first one is our diploma in police command leadership and management, and used to formerly call it our command course. So that command course that many of you went on is now a course where you are issued a diploma at the end, and then the highest police training course in the Caribbean that we have always delivered, only in Jamaica, which is a strategic command course, and this is at the level of senior super and assistant commissioner. and sometimes, um, superintendents. You're part of that course. Yeah, it's only June and on that I found himself on the course as an inspector. I don't know how, but we're still investigating that. Right. Going to sit talent early after. Come on. Right, so this is it. So this one now, we're doing some work with Delaware State University. We're in the exploratory mode in revamping this. As good as it was, we're still looking at making it better. So we're working with Delaware State University. Currently, we have an MBA going on as we speak in police leadership with 32 members on that, including three deputy commissioners, two deputy commissioners. And again, this man find himself on that course. Yeah, I don't know how. All right, so that takes care of the general training, but then we have some other in-service training now. Remember, and ladies and gentlemen, policing in Jamaica is tough. Not over here, people tell you. I want to let you believe that we are out there visiting churches and some serious people we're tackling out there. So we have to prepare our people. So we have been preparing our fighting force. And it is a must. Some people come to you and say community-based policing is about not walking with gun and slapping and on the wrist and all of that. Garbage. Some serious machine these guys are turning on my police officers. Just the other day, two police officers were they actually stumbled upon a robbery. And before the guys then just drop the gun out of respect and run and shoot the police there. That's what we encounter on a day-to-day basis. Fortunately, didn't die. But the two men are just today. Right? And so this is a serious, very serious. Thank you very much. This is first one that is up for mobilization. Right. And so we have to train our persons at our tactical response. Because whilst we protect you, the people, we can't protect ourselves, then you have no protection. And so we have to train these men. So last year we have spent $2 million training our OSC operational support teams to the level of tactical level 2. And this is a level at which it's very close to military. That goes all the way up to level 4, and that's our SWAT type individuals. You call those guys out very, very, very rarely. And you have to be very, very careful that we have to manage that from the highest level when these guys are called. They are level 4 training. And so we have over 1,200 persons over last year that were trained at level 2 practical. And this training takes place in the field itself. The other day I was coming from the airport and I was going to Kingston and stuff. This traffic jam, ready to get upset now that traffic jam on a Sunday. What is happening? Until I realized I saw some police tactically going across the street. So I thought there was something going on there. And I called, I realized that's actually a training exercise right there in the field, on the street, in the real life situation on a Sunday. And so that's the type of training that we and so we look at still on people. So we look at the numbers, getting the numbers right, we look at how we procure our people. And then the next thing now is where do we put our people? Right? We have close to 300 facilities across the country, real estate, that over the years has been allowed to deteriorate to some extent. So we have embarked on a massive upgrade project rock, renew, restructure, rock is overall construct project rock alongside the Ministry of National Security and the National Housing Trust and the JCF to refurbish all of our facilities and so. So far we have spent over $70 billion since 2021 in refurbishing our facilities, and we have impacted over 141 facilities. And a simple refurbish, there's nothing called a simple refurbishing. Even though we say refurbish, sometimes that almost a complete tear down and rebuild, because the structure still is classified as refurbishing. So 141 of those have been built. Just going to show you quickly some of the current major projects taking place now. And this is the St. Catherine Divisional HQ, which is Spanish Town, right? And it's a 40,000 square foot facility at the cost of over $2.2 billion. We were broke ground last year, and construction is currently ongoing now. These images here are actual real images of what the finished product will look like. And this is under construction as we speak. The next one is the Westmoreland Divisional Headquarters, and this is a 60,000 square foot facility at the cost of $2.7 billion. And this one I physically was part of the construction team. If you look closely here, this is building in the foundation. Right. And so this is what it looks like now. I think this photograph was taken last week. Right? And this is what the final product will look like at the end. And then we have our largest one to extend now. Some of our reserve. This is your facility, specialized operation, but we're going on the western side. Right? Now we have to provide support on that side, but we employ a lot of us, hotels, renting facilities and stuff like that. So we're building a huge facility, and this facility will integrate with the community itself. Integrate with the community, and it's at a cost of 11 billion, and it's 237,000 square feet. It's an entire community. All approvals, all pre-construction work has been done, and construction will begin on that soon. So that is it for people. That's it for people. I'm gonna go faster through quality and technology, and I don't want to lose anybody. But that's what we're doing. And just to give you an idea of how serious we take this thing about our contribution to the nation building. We have to prepare with this. Yes. Yes. All right. So one of the things that we do now, for every facility that we build, we have designs for various types of facilities. So in our police station, we have type A, type B, type C, and they're very similar. Unlike in the past where you have a building and it's the house and it's available and you turn that police station. What we're building now, a purpose-built station. We research even the color, because we know when people come to the police, usually they're traumatized. That color has effect on mood. And so even how the color on the inside is painted is informed by research. We also build our facilities so that there is security, but it is not that overt. So rather than big walls and big fences, we have security. They don't feel like there is security, but you know how far to go. But we still have to secure the police. And that's one of the things that we're doing. And so what we do, we have a facility here. For example, I'll give you the example of mobile specialized operation. We have a facility here. And rather than a big wall, we have football field. We have tennis court. We have walk and cycle track as you go closer to the community. But as I get closer to the police, there's a little more layer of security. We use things like electronic security and all of those things. And so for every station that we build, new station, we have an area, what do we call it, for community engagement, and they do things like homework for students and stuff. Olympic Gardens is one of them, they can go and look at it. We do things like have ATM machines so that we attract the citizens in a safe space to conduct business at polling stations and stuff like that. A lot of the community groups, we have facilities where they come in the station and have their meeting, even if it doesn't involve the police and stuff like that. So these are some of the things that we do to build. So even like in specialized operation West, the playing field, that a police playing field. The guys in the community can come play football. There are rules, of course. And so this is what I'm talking about, integrating the building itself and the facility integrates with the community itself. And these things are delivered. Sorry.
When you're saying west, where exactly is that
It's
location?
in Montego Hills in St. James. So that serves the entire western there, Westmoreland, all of that. Alright? Good. So now that we have spoken about the people, we look at the quality. Now that you have the right number of persons and you have the right training and development, now the service that is delivered by these people is the next thing that we look at under our transformation. So quality management system. We have one quality objective. Everything we do, all the processes we create, all the process mapping, all the services, all of it, everything is geared to ensure that 75% of the time that someone, at minimum, 75% of the time when someone interacts with the police, they are satisfied. And we have means of measuring that. And we keep track of that every year. We measure it from actual research, we have a planning research and development branch. We have real researchers, presented by Dr. Terence Dent. We have several persons who are actual academic researchers who go out in the field and get feedback, satisfaction survey and stuff like that, and prepare the report. But we also have real-time accuracy that gives real-time feedback on the service that we just deliver. And last week, I did Saturday, we visited some of the ISO stations, and everyone we've gone to, the actual feedback from the kiosk, when people comes into the station, was delivered, service was delivered to them, and they give a feedback. Every one of those stations are experiencing way over 80% satisfaction for every single station. No. Yes. 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 That's the idea. That's the idea. That's the idea. Transformation happens here first. If your people is the first pillar of your transformation, you can't make them taller. You can't make them shorter. This is where it has to happen, right here. And that's why I spend so much time on telling you how we get our people to understand what they do. Tell people all the time, the only reason why people run a 400 meter is because they know when they finish. If they tell them go on the track and keep running, I will tell them when to stop. Nobody will enter it. When you do something, you get pleasure in knowing, I get satisfaction in knowing the progress you're making and when it is completed. And so we have to get our members to understand that if you just come and stand up on the roadside for 8 hours, the only thing you have to measure is the clock, then how you approach that is completely different than when you know that because I'm here yesterday we had 0 murder on this or 0 robbery. Then tomorrow when you go there's a different approach. And so you affect the mental. So ISO 9001 is a standard international. ISO is an international organization of standardization, and that is the highest level or the most recognized standardization body of persons who may not understand. Instead of organizations come and argue with each other and argue with that we are good, we are the best, we are the best. What we do, they were here to talk about international standard, we are our services of international standard, but it's so subject, nobody knows what it is, unless a body, a certification body, an accreditation body, has common metrics that they use to measure you as they have measured other organizations and say, well, you are among the world's best. That's what ISF was. ISO 9001 is a quality management system that looks at the service that you deliver. And so we embarked on that in 2022, embarked on pursuit of ISO 9001. And let me tell you, we are one of only 4 police organizations in this side of the world to ever undertake successfully ISO 9001 certification. And we have been certified going 3 years now. As a matter of fact, I'm back in Jamaica on Monday, and Tuesday our external audit begins for recertification. This is a brilliant thing. It's not police auditing or persons within Jamaica or from the Ministry of National Security that know foreigners, ISO, whose credibility, their job depends on their credibility. So they're not doing things well. They're not going to say, oh, JCF can play. So whatever they say is, so when they certify you and say, listen, you're amongst the world best, here's your certification. Nobody argues with you. So the narrative you hear out there and people defining who the JCF is, there's no way on the face of the earth an organization as described could be certified, could be prepared and certified in 10 years, much less since 2022. Not only that, we have the largest scope. An organization can certify this and name. You have the organization and you certify your accounts department, or your production department. And so it's a scope thing. So we have 23 sites under the scope. Not many organizations have that size. This audit I tell you about that we're going into, we will be certifying an additional how many sites we have this? Yeah, at the end of this audit coming up, we will have, once it's successful, we'll now have 34 sites of our school. And we talk about sites, we talk about 4 sites. 4 sites is a police station where you deliver the service. But then the police station can deliver the service successfully and effectively if the support sites are there. So we talk about technology. If you're going to do an investigation, we want to ensure that your case management system is up and running, which is a technology branch. And so those are the support sites. And so we have 11 support sites. So we have 11 support sites and 11 core sites, which are the police stations and 12 support sites. And we certify 5 services: crime investigation services, patrol emergency, intervention services, meaning actually the community intervention, delivery of station services. When you come to the station and you want an accident report, stuff like that. And also issuance of police reports. That is what the CRO, the criminal records office. So when you're here and you want a job and you want to see if you have any conviction in your country from the CRO. So that service we have all been certified, ISO 9001. And so that is it for quality. And in the next 10 minutes, let us sprint through technology. And this one, I must say, I spent more than 3 hours just presenting on technology. I summarize it very quickly. So our technology is broken down into 4 basic programs. When we talk about a program, it means a collection of projects. Right? We have invested since 2021 $9.8 billion, over $9.8 billion in technology. And this is looking at expansion of our technology infrastructure. What about our infrastructure? We're talking about our data center, our network. We have one of the most sophisticated network in Jamaica, maybe second to digital and flow, our own microwave network. We have very sophisticated data centers. So that's where our money has gone. So once you have your infrastructure, you need to ensure that you secure that infrastructure so that the data that infrastructure carries goes to who it's supposed to get. And so that's another program, and it involves our baseline security, our cyber, and also disaster recovery. Once you have your infrastructure, which is your wires and your cables and your servers and the computers and all of that, and they are now secured under the second program, you don't need to deliver a service, so you need what you call the software, things that you are more familiar with, people who business and your QuickBooks. And we call those your business automation of manual business processes, anything that automates the business process, the software and stuff like that. But this can't run without a proper infrastructure and without it being secured. Right? And then the final program is our staff development. And it is not just about our technical staff, but we maintain everything secure. We have a IT, we have a technology branch that rivals any IT company in the area. And these are police officers. We maintain this. And so the development of our staff is not only about these technical people, but also the users themselves and appreciation. Because if you change in your business process, changing how you do things, then it impacts everyone in the organization. And so that's what we prepare. Right? These are just some screenshots, these are some capabilities that we have. This isn't taken from our thing I was telling you, just to illustrate what we call LPR, license plate recognition capability. And this is where we can capture license plate, take the data from it, run it against any data, and shoot up some alerts. These are some examples, some screenshots of some software that we use, the various module that looks at missing person, deported, warrants, arrest, alerts, bail, etc. This is a screenshot of our case management system that we currently use with our links at capabilities and look at and allow where it's allowed to do analytics and it can find interesting patterns between cases that are related that you may not have known about before. Cases being handled by different officers right across the country. Again, this is the incident management screen. This is bail management, and persons are out on bail, it tracks them with conditions of bail, etc., etc. This is an interface that looks at our gang management, and here it now allows you to do link charts and stuff like that with the different gangs and look at hierarchical structures of gangs and stuff like that. Again, another interface of the gang. And this is our geographic information system or map. So everything we do, all incidents, all reported incidents, are not just in a tabular form like we see in Excel. We also represent them on geospatial representatives like on maps. They have heat maps and stuff like that. What is interesting about this is that this was built by us, right? Our JCF department, and we are the recipient of an international award we collected in California. And this is not for the use of GIS, but to use GIS to build tools. So this was developed by our GIS department and stuff. So if I'm here, a person was wrong and stuff like that, immediately to can pop up here. We can zoom in and I can look at who the person is, what the circumstance and all of that. We have our Amber Connect fleet management system for every deployed vehicle that we have. For every vehicle, not just deployed, because we have the CAD or computer aided dispatch that manage vehicles that are on route that are deployed. But this fleet management tracks every vehicle that we own and stuff, and it does things like sends alert when there are certain irregularities and violations like sudden current, but antecedents to an accident, so you can intervene before the accident. But it's also good for officer safety, so you know every time where an officer is and stuff like that. So we have all our vehicles are on this, and this, what you see here is actually a dashboard of a vehicle showing everything on the vehicle, how long it has been traveling, or the speed it's going, everything right there from your screen. This is a representation of our C5 for command control computer communication system. C5 is a grand command control center. You know, we watch TVS, that center where they do the operation from and deploy resources. This is it. Not many countries and not many police forces have a C5. They're very expensive expenditure. We are now in the process of implementing that. Contract has been signed and we start the implementation of that. Facility has already been procured, and the company doing that is one of the largest supplier of that type of technology worldwide, and that is taking place now. So this is where all our sensors, so your Jamaica eye camera, your body worn cameras, the databases that I showed you before, images coming off in the drones, all comes back into the center. Right? And if I may, for those 2 seconds, I know I'm going a little long, for 2 seconds, just give you a use case scenario, the importance of it. Probably you'll understand it better than use case. And so a vehicle is passing through our tree. We have an LPR camera, the license plate recognition, that picks up that license plate, but it also picks up the face, because you have a facial recognition camera capability. It checks a database that the C5 is connected to, a wanted person database. And when we have someone who are interested in, we want to know everything about them, including the vehicles that they have. And so it may pick up that face, realize that person is featured in a wanted person database, checks the vehicle, see the vehicle goes into inland revenue, check that license plate, get everything around that vehicle. And it knows that the direction of the vehicle, where it's heading, there's another camera there, or there is a unit because the computer aided dispatch knows where every vehicle is. So it knows it passes after tree heading towards Oak Road, but a unit is at right at Oak Road near East Kingsville Road. And so if the CAD can communicate with the computer in the vehicle, everything I'm telling you, we have. It's a C5 that pull all of that together. And so the man on East Kingsville Road in his patrol unit, remember there, I haven't mentioned anything about a user. Nothing about police, but at this point. What happens is that an alert comes to that policeman and say, listen, that red car coming up, license plate number so and so, you may have interest in it. No police did that, the system. And so when they intercept, they realize that, wow, this man is wanted, and so on. So that's what the C5 does. And these are real use cases. This is our idea of a connected cop. That's an idea, it's a reality. This is, we are in the process of procuring most of these stuff, but we have a number of officers of this. And this is where all that I've mentioned at the C5 can be accessed by the police on the street through their tablets. And so we have things like body worn camera, smart device, or e-ticketing printer. Right now, we don't write paper ticket anymore. And so by the time the police pull you over, they want to write everything by name. You know, you can get a ticket. You get nervous. Right. We also have this latest one that we launched in December last year, and the first day we launched it, a couple of months first we picked up off the street. What it does, every time we stop a vehicle to issue a ticket, we're able to check to see if anybody else are interested in you. So if you're wanted or of interest, you put them on a database and leave your road, continue doing your work. Any police right across the country stop you. Once you take your license, your driver's license and checks it, they know that a policeman from around here have interest in you. And so your world gets smaller. So we have launched that already a number of persons since December, and it's called Sentinel. So that's a nutshell of our transformation. And because of our transformation, these are some of the strategies we're able to embark. So you ask yourself the question, why is the result working so good? And this is why. Right? Without what I've told you, without the type of training, without getting the people, without the technology, without all of that, we could not embark on a focused deterrence strategy. A focused deterrence strategy is one, a law enforcement strategy where you place most of your resources on your highest risk. And so we have 1,200 murders per year. No police force in this side of the world has ever investigated successfully 1,200 murders in any 1 year. None. That never happened. We are doing 600 per year. Very few police force ever come anywhere close. And so it means that the murders are just too high. It's not the capacity of the investigators need to improve. Of course, there's always room for improvement, but the murders need to go down. So within that 1,200 murders, you have individuals who have murdered over and over and over again in the past. And they are the ones who are going to murder again in the future. So rather than trying to solve everything and spread your thing, if you really want to drive it down, then you look for those high-risk individuals. And that's what the focus deterrence is about. Throwing your intelligence, throwing your investigation, throwing everything you have behind these individuals. And these guys, trust me, they know that's what is happening. They see the difference. The different thing when you're in a community and see a team of officers come and hold the space for a while and try to do all of that and ask about everything. And one murder happened here and they start with that, another one come and drop it and go and here or whatever. And they feel good because you're busy. But they're seeing now you're sitting through the night and you're focusing on them. And that's what our focus deterrence is. Because we're doing that, because we're throwing all the resources behind these individuals, it means that we're building excellent case files very quickly for these individuals. So rather than a single officer try to investigate 20 murders successfully, you have four individuals. And not we're even investigating incidents more than the individuals. So we have 4. So now we have time to deal with 4. We are accustomed to doing 20 and 30. So Benjamin can tell. We understand the workload of investigators. And because we're doing that, and we're successfully doing that, we're building case files rapidly. It means therefore that no persons are wanted. And when you're wanted, we have to find you. And so we develop what we call the fugitive apprehension team at the area level, or area fugitive apprehension team. And these guys do nothing else every day. There's no 9 to 5 about them. They're on the road and information takes you one place to cover it and give them no space. Right? To just run through them quickly, we have spoke about the expansion of our operational support team, our quick response as a motorcyclist in the urban area, in the busy traffic area, intercepting crimes in progress at that time. And at that element of surprise, and that has significantly hurt here these guys and motorcycles that rob people and stuff like that. We have renewed our focus on our business communities through our beat officer patrol division. Where these officers work solely in built up urban areas every single Saturday day and so protecting business communities. Our highway patrol revamping, ensuring that we have resourced our highway patrol significantly. We've been building agility in our violence in communities through hotspot policing, right? Hotspot policing meaning that again, slightly the focus is around just get through resources around the high risk, but this is not more geographic in nature than people and stuff. We improve our investigative capabilities. We have established a finance division within our narcotics division at CETA, and our primary target is around young, improve stakeholder engagement, and we are now able to advance even better our intelligence led policing model. Right? What are the results? And I'm wrapping up. Right? Safer public spaces that we've seen. And in order for us to do that, we over the last fiscal year, but this one that we're in that ends very soon, a few days, we have seen that we have received additional 340 vehicles. And that's one of the reasons that we will be able to fully build out our highway patrol as we wanted. These are some of the results, more effective communication that we've seen, internal and external communication, particularly with our members. Again, it is through communication that you get members who understand the importance of what they do. I spoke to you about satisfaction. We monitor that every day. When we see that station getting 85, we're interested in the 15. Why weren't they satisfied? I will people right down to the actual thing. And then we realize that some of these not always not being satisfied. Some of them we can see where there's some things we can have better. We have improved staff development and more effective management and supervision. Over the last year, we have promoted 1,154 persons. Never in the history of this. I strongly hope any commissioner's tenure and fire tenure has promoted so many persons. But what is profound about it is that we can't promote you if the space is not there. And so we had 1,154 spaces at the higher level being held by a person at a lower level carrying out the job function and not being paid for doing the job. And so you can imagine what that does to the workforce. I can't promote people in spaces that don't exist. And so we have to rapidly get the people in that, give them a sense of purpose. You can just tell people about transformation and transfer their mind and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, they're holding out a position for a JC while they're an inspector for the past 10 years. And so we quickly get the people in those places. And as a result of that, what we're seeing is far more effective supervision. This should be my final slide. Result in everything that I just told you was a 19% reduction in murder last year. 19% reduction. And a 14% in overall major crime. But then this year, January, so December was the lowest December in ages. Lowest we ever had. January was even lower, and we recorded the lowest murder figure since 2014 in January. And February, we had the lowest murder figure in 30 years for anyone. Start to make the upper clubs. This quarter, the projected quarter that ends next week, will be the lowest quarter that Jamaica has ever seen in 30 years. My slide here at 25 years because that is when we start formally record things like this. But when we trace back, we realize that 26 years after, 27 years after, 30 years. But since we start recording incidents like this, that's been 25 years, but really the figure has been in the last 30 years.
I have a question. Domestic murders. How do you measure that?
Oh,
Domestic murders across from gun crimes. How do you include that in your
we every time an incident occurs, a record is created in some database, and we monitor that every single day.
do you differentiate them?
Well,
Domestic from civil?
yeah, we do. We have for every incident of murder, we have what we call an attribution. So we have charts that shows you of the 100 murder, how many were gang related, how many was domestic, how many was criminal but not gang related, and how many were not. So we have very sophisticated data management. And if we didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to show you the GIS, because it's that data that is not reflected on a GIS.
You finish.
That's-
Commissioner, let Commissioner finish and then we'll take the question.
It won't be long. Yeah, I think it's the last slide. It's the final part. I think I would have made the point in one, the importance of what we do to development, nation building, and why it is important that everyone understands it, especially the persons who are delivering the service. And so just learn from Kofi Annan said that we must not allow the world to forget that the fight for peace is as important as the fight for development. Very, very important. It's a very, very serious industry. And so we embody this truth as an organization. We stand at the forefront of Jamaica's progress. We are committed in safeguarding our communities, and we make no apology for that. And we foster an environment where innovation, investment, and prosperity can flourish. That is beyond what a law enforcement can do. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we start taking any questions, a very comprehensive presentation. I really want us to give a big round of applause to Commissioner of Police, Dr. Blake. You know, over the years, people always complain and say, boy, crime is going up and we're worried and what we're going to do, and now crime is going down and consistently going down. We need to give the police their flowers. Can we get your flowers? Give them their flowers while they're here working hard. Our Jamaican policemen and women making us very proud. Let's hear it one more time for them. Let's stand and recognize our people, man. 90% reduction in homicides year over year and 35% year to date. A remarkable achievement by our Jamaican men and women. So, all right, you can sit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a few questions. I know you will want to take a few pictures as well. So, I'm going to limit the questions. A lot of it was already covered. So, here are the rules. When you're asked, just say your name so we get to know each other better for the next time you're here. And I know who to pounce on for some sponsorship after. Good.
Hi, Commissioner. Glad to see you. Congratulations on your accomplishment. For someone who has worked closely with you. Oh, sorry, my name is Gary Spencer. For someone who has worked closely with you, over your earlier career, I'm proud that you have your accomplishments and really see things. I have a couple of questions. The first, speaking about the technology and the legislation around it, which you and I ran into when you were trying to introduce our project. Is there now the legislation to support technology?
Yeah, certainly, most of the legislation that we work, if you see specifically to the project that we work at, so we did, used to in earlier life, we worked together and he provided a system that, Anchorage monitors, persons in custody, and so it allows them to be in custody at home, with restrictions. That specific thing, the legislation we looked at, but in a different way. So what we're doing now is looking at how to classify some of these hardened criminals beyond the ordinary. Because there are some persons who ordinary laws don't apply. Yeah, the ordinary laws don't apply. And so we have to look at classifying them at a high level. And it is where now we look at the utilization of this and stuff like that. But I don't think those are the need for any legislative amendment for persons who are already convicted. So that's it with that.
And then the second part of my question, the stakeholder buy-in to the technology and the privacy and cyber securing of information such as the facial and all that data. Is there?
Yeah, we have not gotten any pushback. We already live in an age where these things are the norm. And one of the question I get all the time is not even the stakeholder buy-in, but police officers. But you have to remember that the people that we recruit now are persons who were born in the school in front of them. And so this idea about uptake in technology and learning curve and change management, but you need change management for it to take a person like that, bring them to the course and give them a big diary. You need change management to get them to understand, to draw them down to that. And so we don't really have much problem. And remember, the society, we are a creature of the society. So the same caliber of people that we recruit are the same caliber of people out there. So people appreciate that. People appreciate that. And there are some challenges we have with things like our license plate recognition, but it's not so much a legislation. It is more the informal nature of some of our communities. And so whilst you're here in New York and you're on a traffic light and a camera catches you and the citation reach your house before you, sometimes you don't know where to send the citation. Because we have communities with only one address. I think 16th Street is the entire Canterbury. And so you don't know where to send that. So these are some of the issues, more so than legislative.
Good evening. My name is Davani, and first I want to congratulate you on the progress that you've made. So my question actually centers around domestic violence, and I recognize that this might be out of the scope of your discussion, so I apologize in advance. And I also want to recognize the work that DSP Jacqueline Dillon has been doing, with establishing the DVICs across the island. But how important is domestic violence to your administration, given that Jamaica has the second highest rate of femicide across the globe? We do, we're the second highest across femicide, the killing of women. So first is South Africa and then Jamaica. Femicide, the killing of women. We have an extremely high rate of that, and I apologize. But I'm just wondering how important is domestic violence to your administration?
All right, first of all, let me tell you how important it is. Listen, Jacqueline Dillon is she's a deputy so was appointed there. Jacqueline Dillon did not establish DBIs. The High Command did. The force did. We have established 10 domestic violence intervention centers across the country. And that should answer your question. If the belief is that a deputy superintendent is who established all of that, then I can understand your questioning whether or not it is part of our agenda. We did that. As a matter of fact, I managed that project personally when I was a deputy commissioner. And so we have established domestic violence centers right across. It is a critical component of our plan. Had we enough time, we could speak to our planning model, which is another 3-hour presentation, which includes the in our own homegrown model of planning, IIOI, which is information, intelligence, operation, intervention, and information. Intervention itself, that component, the entire component of our planning model that look at community engagement and these types of things intervene in the before. So it's a critical part of it. So we take it seriously. I won't debate around the issue of femicide, highest femicide rate. The second highest, I am guided by the research, I look at that. But what I know, when you look at our murder, our homicide rate and our murder figures, we are like less than 2% of that are females. Less than 2% of that are females. Yeah. And so what we have, yesterday, CG, we had a meeting with Marco, the Secretary of State, and, first I won't delve into US politics, but something that he has spoken to the media, so we can sure we can speak about it. And we ask ourselves the question, USAID and expanding of USAID, how much criticism around it, but I'm not here to say whether it's right or wrong. However, what was profound in his statement is that many of these organizations are basically ambushed, not Israel, by non-geographic, these are government entities, government funded, ambushed by non-geographic entities that comes to your country and tells you what your problem is and insists that they're going to fund that problem that they think and listen nothing to you and stuff. And he said that's one of the main reasons why they're doing that. They're not against aid international. They're not against aid. It's just how it is done. And so the aid that is given to you must be aligned with your reality and your problem. And as Commissioner of Police, I can attest to that. I have sat with persons who come and sit down and tell you exactly what your problem is. When we're doing the domestic violence intervention center, persons come in and say that, listen, we want an early warning system, early intervention system. And the early intervention system must only look at children and women. But now 98% of my men keep dying every day from murder. And I'm going to take all of this money to focus only on women and children and exclude all of that. I want to hear nothing at all about all of that in their head. This is the mandate, this is the message, and this is what they're coming with. Talking to persons with 25, 40 years service doing the very same thing and stuff. So my word to you is that I've never heard that. I will not stand here and argue I've never heard. But from my reality, less than 2% of the persons who are murdered in our country are women and children. The data is here. I can pull up today's statistics on it. All right?
Thank you, Mark Douglas. Thank you, Dr. Blake, for your comprehensive presentation. A general comment I'll make as somebody who not only is observing from here, but who spends a lot of time in doing the proof of the you were here with your predecessor as he spoke about the transformation that the police was going through some years ago in Lauderdale. And of course, many were skeptical because it seemed esoteric at the time, talking about putting in infrastructure and building capacity. But no, we definitely are seeing that here. And I want to not only congratulate the police, but the government for the investment that they have made in police infrastructure, the police vehicles, the new stations, the equipment, and so on. I want to ask you though, things. Years ago, we used to have these police youth clubs that were very vibrant in the local communities, and I hear you talking about putting in infrastructure that interfaces with the community. And I know part of that is to make sure young people not only have respect for the police, but see the police as their friends. And I don't know what is your intent to probably revisit the strengthening or revitalization of these police youth clubs that used to be so prolific. And secondly, and I know this is more of a policy issue, but in terms of the social intervention as it relates to crime, because at some point your technology and your manpower and your training and all of that is going to hit a wall. We're going to reach the point where that alone is not going to solve, or it's not going to take us past a certain level. There's always going to be crime, but there's acceptable levels of crime. There is the portion that has to do in our Jamaican context with social intervention, and I want to maybe find out if the policymakers are really talking about that as part of the solution.
Excellent. I'm very happy to answer both questions, as I would have left here with you not knowing what the reality is. You said if we're going to revitalize or change that word, we continue. We have one of the most vibrant youth engagement program in any organization in the Caribbean. The Police Youth Club hasn't won one bit. As a matter of fact, I've had several meetings with several stakeholders. The last meeting I had was the head of the JCF, Jamaica Football Federation, to look at a football league with members from the police youth club. So the JCF is partnered, we just collected over 200 footballs and stuff like that. So it's a vibrant thing. We have programs. We have a school. We have a school at NPCJ for students. Some of them made an actual high school that was established at National Police College of Jamaica. Some of these students were struggling in high school. It's a small school. We have people now who are coming to us, begging us to take their children from Ivy League schools to come to there. We had 100% passing every exam that they did. Very first year. Many of them are no police officers. Many of them are no police officers and stuff. And so our youth club continues to build and strengthen. You mentioned social intervention. We are probably one of the most socially intervened country on earth. There's a study that I think LAPOC did some time ago, and it looked at prisoners in custody and did some interviews with them and stuff like that. And there's nowhere that persons who are in custody anywhere in the world, anywhere during the scope of their study, that benefit from social intervention more than prisoners. Almost every prisoner has some means of benefit, something from social intervention, yet they're in prison. The next thing is we had social intervention programs, and it goes back to the same point I was making about people come and tell you what your problem is and fix your problem where you think it is. Over 70% of funding goes into many of these social intervention programs are administrative costs. And so you're going to carry some money from some organization overseas, but then the condition officers and must get one of my consultants from overseas who absolutely knows nothing. Sometimes come and expect to see some people dancing with coconut leaf. And they come with absolutely nothing. I've sat in meetings and hear people, consultants talking to me, that I'm embarrassed to respond. I don't know how to respond. So I just have someone come down to respond to them. And they come, and that money goes to them. And so we teach people things like conflict resolution. Good enough is important enough. And we teach people all of those things in our inner city community. And then we pack up and we leave. And that community, the dirty trench water runs same way. The zinc fence there, same way. There's no community center there. There's nothing at all there. And for 2 weeks, you remember about conflict resolution. And the third week, the sun really hot and people bothering you, you're hungry. And the fourth week, somebody said the wrong things. And the fifth week, you're going to shoot them again. Because the environment has not changed. And as a result of that, what we did, if you're about Project Star, social transformation and reform, project. Have anybody ever heard about it? You heard about it? Good. All right. Well, Project Star is one of the most successful social intervention programs that Jamaica has ever seen. And it's on the social stock market as we speak, right? And why is Project Star successful? Because matter of fact, Project Star was born out of a meeting with some private sector members, PSOJ members, and the former Commissioner of Police and myself. And the idea was, how could we help the police in what they're doing? Everybody come and talk about, some money they want to give and some station and fix and stuff like that. And Commissioner then said, it's one of the best ways to help me is to help the community high police. And if you can help that community to turn from crime or find gainful employment and whatever, then my work will be easier. So rather than sending 20 police down there, I can send 1.5. Right? So Project Star was born. Commissioner asked me to go away and develop a concept. I went to this young man here. Not young looking, but very young. Shouldn't sit here. And we said, we developed the concept. And we wanted the concept to be so comprehensive, so impactful, but yet easy to understand. It was on one sheet. And then we met with Safri and Keith Duncan, and we come to another meeting and then build it out and Project Star. One of the things that we insisted on, two things. One, we have to leave sustainable economic artifact within the community itself. Now, when our community will teach people things and leave when they have nothing. The man what a black factory must have an incubator system, must have a means of getting funding, and must learn how to manage his accounts and finance so that he can sustain his business. It's not only about looking jobs. Yes, we're looking jobs for person, but we want to leave jobs in the community. And the second thing we insisted on is that the children must have a safe space, because these communities have kids who leave school. Some of them broken homes, some of the homes not broken with a single parent, mother have to work, late child come home, and not beautiful homes so they can go and turn on air condition. And so where they end up on the street. And so now we have to compete for the hearts and mind of these kids against gangsters. And so we need a safe space for these children to go where we can help them until parents come home. And we insisted on that to the extent that an entire arm of Project Star, I can't remember the gentleman who is in charge of the public economy development and growth, permanent financer. And that is social intervention. And that's how serious we take social intervention. So whilst I'm up here and telling you about my OSP tactical team, don't believe that is all that we do. Project Star was born at the JCF headquarters out of that discussion between the former commissioner and the PSOJ.
Thank you. And I should mention, Sean, that we actually had a presentation up here by Mr. Kutel and Project Star, very comprehensive. So your consulate is working very hard. Let's give the consulate a round of applause. Yeah? All right, so tell us again your question.
Just a concern. Dr. Blake, everybody's congratulating everything that you've done so far. I'm not surprised of what you have accomplished. When I saw your background and when you announced that you're becoming a commissioner, I knew this was something that was in the way. But as a person, I'm one of those that I read the paper. I moved back to Jamaica back in the 90s. I went for a 10-year vacation, a 10-day vacation. I spent 6 years. That's how much I love it. Then I came back, and I've been watching what's going on and trying to consider whether I should go back home again. But the crime was an issue for me, as it is for many people here also. And again, the numbers are down. There is an issue right now, I believe, with the body camera. I'm going to say body camera. It's been in the news quite a bit. Government spent over $200 million and purchased body cameras for JCF. And it's been in the news many times where your members, for some reason, are not putting body cameras. Now, what is the issue? I mean, I hear you talk about it, but I don't see you as being an advocate for the body camera. Again, that's just my perception. But I think as a commissioner of police, you should be an advocate for something like that. And not having your members having a body camera on, doing a very important tactical mission, is something that's concerning.
So then, I mean, you guys are touching on some very good points that I'm happy you have it to do and you take it over for an interview.
Commissioner, you want to just take the last question and then you just tackle both of them together.
Okay, can I address this first? Let me tell you why. I don't remember things. And I may forget. You may have to repeat the question. But I'm glad you mentioned it. You said you heard me talking. I don't think you heard me talking. I do not think you heard me. If you heard me, you didn't listen. What you're listening to is a narrative that the cleaner and some other interest groups are pushing. Body-worn cameras. Body-worn cameras. There's never a time. I wrote about it. Because you know why I wrote about it? Because I give people the benefit of the doubt that when we speak, some things are missed. But when you read, you can go and reread. And I'll show you something that I've written on it. And this idea that we're resistant to body-worn camera, you know why that idea is there? You know why that is being pushed? Let me tell you why it's being pushed. I'm going to be frank. No police force in this side of the world, and I challenge anyone to contradict me, is more oversight than the JCF. None. Absolutely none. I went to Northern Ireland, thank you very much. I went to Northern Ireland that most police service in Northern Ireland that boasted having large number of oversight bodies, and they list them out, and every one they list, I showed them an equivalent in Jamaica. And when they finished, I had 2 more. Good. So we have a body called Indico that I am in. And I want to listen carefully to people who focus all the time. I am 100% in support of what Indico stands for, because we did not doing a good job, and I was doing it, maybe I do a good job. I need that type of self-check. We need self-check. We're talking about managing an armed force. We're talking about managing one of the largest police forces in this side of the world. So we need self-check. If we have rogue among us, if we have people doing the wrong thing, they have to be investigated, prosecuted, and put in prison. I will support that. And so we expect you to do well. As a policeman, we deliver more than 23 services. One person the other day I was driving with one of my drivers, and he told me that one of the new vehicles he saw police cutting grass, putting in the vehicle. And he had to pull over and say to him, they put grass in the brand new vehicle on the roadside. He said, but look, it's like you're using it for your private business. Starting to recommend the police, and the police said to him that, oh, no, what respect. We stopped a unit with some boats in it, stolen boats. We arrested the men, so the boat is in our custody. So I had to go in the field, ask the farmer what type of grass we have to get. And that's what I'm putting on. Go and feed the boats, and it's dead serious. Why am I saying this? Police responsibility for as far as knowing which grass to feed boats. Who got it that? You know, in the commerce to do? One thing in the commerce to do. One thing and one thing only. When there is a misconduct at the police force, investigate it well. And I'm demanding of them that they do that. Investigate well and get them from months, because my hands are tired. I don't have what it is. I don't have the authority to investigate them for these things. Well, man, listen to that. That's why I'm telling you. You need to listen. Listen. Because it's important that it is said. They are connected. So you have one thing to do and to investigate well. Let me tell you the difference. You see, we tell you about 600 murders investigated successfully by police. Let me tell you the difference between investigating a murder and investigating, for example, a fatal shooting. One, when you're investigating a murder, you have no idea, 9% of the time, who the victim is. You don't know who the perpetrator is. You don't have the weapon that was used. So you have no ballistic information except when you understand. You don't know the circumstance around it. And people are not willing to come and testify. You don't have many of that. But 600 at a time, we were successful in holding on to someone responsible. When you have a fatal shooting, what does it become? One, they know the most than the person on the scene. They know who during the fatal shooting. They know the weapon that was used. Unlike every other citizen whose constitutional right is not to self-incriminate, our police officers have to go to Indicom and give a statement or else face jail. We know the circumstance. Now, it requires all of that is like 60 to 70% of what is required to complete an investigation. Any detective who graduated last week that have a murder to investigate and have all of that in their case study, they cannot close that in 2 weeks and probably get people that is CIA. But Benjamin, spend all his years as CIA. Anytime that have foolishness start. Good. Good. The point I'm making, my brother, the point I'm making is that they have a 60-meter jump in a 100-meter race to investigate these incidents of fatal shooting. What it means is that if we have 50 fatal shooting this year, and you believe 50 fatal shootings are bad shootings, then what should you have? 50 properly investigated cases and at minimum 50 persons ready to go before the court. Right? Am I saying anything that is true? That does make sense. Yeah? No, man, I'm coming to you, man. They are connected, you know. They are connected. They are connected. Good. And so, what in the comment saying? So what I've been saying, listen, it's every time when you come out and tell me about 50 fatal shooting. Fatal shooting is like, I don't like fatal shooting. And my police have come off the road. I don't want police put on the road. I am mandated, my own policy, mandate my police to come out all time, goes for an entire process to come and put them back. I don't like fatal shooting. We have to focus deterrence. We have great detectives behind every one of those guys. If we ever shoot them, we have peers of the police. I don't like fatal shooting, so they're right. But when you come out and talk about fatal shooting, fatal shooting, police must restrain themselves. If those fatal shootings were clean fatal shootings and you have a 60-meter jump, you have all of the matters to investigate that matter. Why not investigate them? Why not come out and say to the public? Tell the public then that is only 5% that they have concern about. Why talk about that 95%, 100% of the incidents? And when you come out and make those utterances, right? You have my police officers on the road. You know what that does? When a person is at home and you see a gunman in his yard and they call the police, you know what the police do? They see the route. So the 15 minutes in which they could have responded, they take 30 minutes. Why? Because they don't want to engage. Because of engagement, we put them in our statistics where their life was on the line and they have to get out of that alive. When they get out of that alive, they become a part of that miserable statistics. So I have to talk about them. So you know when they come say, oh, even though I have 60-meter jump, now 100-meter race, I can't investigate the thing properly because I don't have the video footage. So when we ask you something, if one of my detectives come out, or if we come out and say, listen, we can't investigate murder stuff, there's no that criminals won't video the thing and care from people. Would you accept that? Would you accept that? But you are accepting from Indicom. Hold on, you are accepting from Indicom that they must be, we must expect that you cannot investigate the matter properly because I never care about the one who cannot investigate. So that's one. The second point to your question, let me answer the real question. This idea about that, right? So this is my point. So this is what people hear and say, oh, I'm pushing back against body worn cameras. I spent $7 billion in infrastructure. You know why I spent $7 billion in infrastructure? We started already body worn cameras. We have a 8,000 strong operational team. Just look around and find out which police force in the US have 8,000 persons. Operational team, 8,000, some of them have up here on operational, 8,000 persons. Body worn camera implementation for 8,000 people is not the same as a 20-man or a 100-man police force or security company. Body worn camera carries the largest and the highest demand capacity data we can find. It's not text, this is image and video.
If I give a man a body worn camera and I have no means of storing and keeping that body worn camera when an incident occurs, and 2 years down the road, an investigation, and we cannot find that footage, you know what they're going to say about the JCF? That's the mistake we made many years ago. Get body worn cameras from partners and we just pin them on police, put them out here. And we're ridiculed when we come and take a body worn camera and back it on the computer, and that computer goes away. So what we had to do, everybody on camera that is on everyone out there must feed back to a central server where you can manage that properly, where you can back it up, where you can secure it. I tell you about the infrastructure, I tell you about the cyber security. I cyber friendly, you can talk in foolishness, surveillance and that. That takes years of doing, billions of dollar infrastructure. Buying body worn cameras and pinning on people without an infrastructure is just to satisfy a constituents of people, and I mean, no sense. So we're not be bullied into this doing what is nonsensical. We build out this infrastructure, the thing we present up here. So these are real, these are not aspirational things, these are real things that we have put in place. And I've said it to the business, I'm telling you, you never listen to me. You never listen to me. And I've said it over and over again. The years that you have been on with me and talking about body on camera, I am busy building out infrastructure. Now the infrastructure is built. I am now procuring body on cameras. I have 1,000 body on camera and procurement and BBC carried back on their level. You know, Jamaica our procurement process. We're buying body on cameras now. We're going to pin a body on camera for a man now. We can go to the server. It's not the man's choice where it goes. So this idea that police, wear body worn cameras, that's ridiculous. Let me tell you where we're doing body worn cameras. So we have 750 body worn cameras. And we have 8,000 operational police. I decide, me and my high command, and we alone decide operationally how we prioritize those that implementation. No media house, no oversight organization. That's operational decision. There's a reason why we have spent 20 years at one thing. Play football, we're not journalists, this is what we do, so we must know. You know where I put them? In public order. You know why I put them in public order? Because there's a growing trend where every time a police goes to arrest someone, the whole community decides to fight the police. You know what we have done? We give them to the public order people, we work with the BOPD, we work downtown. And those places were crowded, people get strength. You know what has happened since? It's every time that red light start flash and I'm ready to intervene, everybody step up. And they know that we're going to go back, analyze it, and it will come out of your day to come in for you, not in the crowd. And then stop. When not as people are fighting police. So I'm glad you made the point. Right. So that is our priority, my brother. Every single operational person of the 8,000 will get body worn camera. That 1,000 that we have on procurement is $190 million. $190 million. And some software we just run Walmart and pick up and put on people. What? I say I have on procurement 1,000 body worn camera at a cost of 190 million. On procurement, we will not take possession of them yet. And when you are telling me that when you say nothing happened, what do you mean? I tell me I have 750 cameras deployed. They say nothing has happened. I understand. When you nobody else wants, every day you have people, everybody have on 750 cameras in Jamaica every day, every single day. No, but you're not asking me a question, you're making a statement. Ladies and gentlemen, for your benefit, every single solitary day, we deploy 750 body worn cameras, and those that are not deployed at the time, they are being charged every single day. That is why we have people stop fighting police when we arrest people in the town center.
We only have 750, we deploy 750. We're procuring 1,000. When we get those, we deploy 1,000. And we continue to have 8,000 and we deploy 8,000 of them. So this idea, no, how on earth could we be pushing back against body one term and spend $7 billion? You know what people need? You know what uniform I need? And I'm spending $7 billion for infrastructure to accommodate body one term, but that's a pushback. Who's smarter than that?
All right, I'm sure this question are going to have a long way.
First of all, I just want to say thank you very much for bringing us up to date. My name is Kate Chong, for bringing us up to date on what is happening. Because when we hear the news on the radio and the murders and stuff, we really do not hear the counter to that. We don't hear it in the diaspora. And so I think it really is important. And I think that while you don't want to give away every secret about what's happening, I think that we really need to make this more widely known about what's happening in Jamaica. I'm so glad I came this evening. See, I came, I heard you sent me something about your response to about the, the criminals being killed, and it really piqued my interest, and that's why I came. But I came with a different concept. I came to a meeting like this many years ago after I had been held up and robbed at knife point. We were almost killed actually, and when I said to the police, you keep that in, that's what they were holding, you could get fingerprints from that. They said, come on, can't get nothing from that. And I said, they went that way. He wasn't interested in very when they wanted to know what they had in the suitcase that they took. And I said, clothes. But at the same time, I had a different concept. After that happened with me and how I went to the police station several times to give a statement, and there was nobody there who could take a statement. And I actually left without ever reporting that particular incident. So my concept coming here this evening was, look, something has to happen in the police force in Jamaica with all this crime, and only to find out that so much is actually happening. And I think we want to thank you for bringing us up to date on what's going on. So mine is more complex. My question was really, when things happen in communities, where can people actually report that something went wrong? Because, with all that you are doing, the people are the most important people. And many of these people, some are going to be okay, and some will never be okay. So I don't know how do they get disciplined. I mean, there was an incident, somebody told me, an old man had somebody at his feet harassing him, called the police station, and they said, they can't do anything unless the person has done something. So even though he's harassing and carrying on, the man is old and alone. He said, okay, can I make a report? He said, no, you can't make a report by the phone. You have to come to the police station to make a report. And I said, I don't drive. And in my late 80s, he said, sure, taxi, roll up and down the street, man. Take a taxi and come to the police station. And when I heard all of that, I'm thinking, what happens if that person really got in and did some damage, And the question then begs itself, how do we report situations like that? To say, well, how can we have anything? It may not be that particular incident. It may be just something else that happens. Is there an opportunity for the citizens to be able to make a report on any particular police station, wherever it is, or harassment on the street, anything? How do the people report that?
Very good question. And if you notice our main and single quality objective is 75%. That 25% are the experiences similar to what you have mentioned. We are not a perfect force. With any 10 person you put together, there's no excuse. With any 10 person you put together, you're going to find one or two that are not up to the standard. So we have that. Our job is to continuously improve that. And that's why I said to you, when we look at that satisfaction, that is 85%, we immediately delve into the 15%. We have developed auditors. We have an audit department that we audit ourselves and look at these. We have about 200 certified auditors or police officers, right? That actually audit and look at and look at these things. So that's the first thing. This is one of the things that we're doing. We see improvement. We've seen improvement. I get a lot of commendation and compliments every day from citizens, but I do get one and two complaints. I measure it by looking at the frequency of the commendation related to the politics. And it is going in the right direction, but we still do have those incidents, unfortunately. There are two things. One, you mentioned how you report. I assume you mean how you report a crime. But yeah, for them, how you report a crime, but also when you do not get service, how you report them. Right. So we have the IPO, and it is in yeah, man, well, inspector professional standards and oversight, IPO. And that body is created to investigate and if necessary, charge police. One of the last thing I did before going to the airport was to sign off on a charge and suspension of some police. Some of these things that in the past would have not happened. That was one of the last things I did. And so we appeal to people, we talk to people, we try to change people, we do other things to try to get them to change, but there are times when discipline has to be the way, and that is it. So we can report it to IPO, that information sometimes not investigated by IPO, but the commanding officer themselves, and that is monitored. And we get a lot of reports, whole lot of reports about that, and the persons have been sanctioned and stuff like that. And so that is it. But we are also developing website, a web application that allows persons to complain and comment. So it's a complaints and comment. So you can actually, you don't even have to be here yourself. You don't have to go to a station. You go on that website, and that is the soon launch. That will be soon launch. You can actually make the complaint right there. No, we don't go out and advertise it yet because it's not there. Because the moment you tell first, they're going to start searching for the site and stuff. It's not there yet. But because you're not in Jamaica, what type of heavily visited entity? People are fully aware of it. I mean, the persons come to IPO and complain about some ridiculous things. And come to IPO and say that they'll get tickets and the police treat them bad. And when you were speeding, yes, I was speeding, but the police did have to be late. The police gets us arrested. But people use that, they utilize it. And the police are laughing, them get the experience and things like that. Yeah, it's not up yet. I'm just saying what is coming. The ability to complain.
Hold on. Yeah. You just want the website, right? We're going to stay at the website. Yeah. Let's get information.
You can just go on jcf.gov.gm and you can, I think there's a link there that takes you to IPO. But the actual application to make that complaint is not yet. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, all good things must come to an end, right? Let's give a big round of applause again to our hard-working commissioner and the police chief in Jamaica. Many times we recognize when things are going right and we get passionate and we want to complain, and that's fine. But I want us to have that same level of energy to go out and share the good news when things are going right. Do you agree? We must be equally excited. We speak to people in our community, at work, at home. We must be able to go out and share the good news about things, improvements in our Jamaica land that we love. Let us be equally excited about sharing the good news about what we have heard today and pass it on. Last year, I had to speak to several groups who were canceling their vacations because of a travel advisory. And they made up their mind they're not coming. They're gone somewhere else. And now we have 19% reduction and 35% year to date. Commissioner, we want to say how much we appreciate you. We have a special presentation at this time. Please get your picture, get your cameras out. We're going to make a special presentation to you from the consulate and island space. Please take these. All right. Please take your pictures. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we close, we have the high five flyers. Please take one, register, support the work that we do. All right, so take one, register tonight, don't just take it. As you can see, we give you the very best of the best here at our monthly lecture series. Was the information useful? Yes? This did take 2 weeks to organize. I want to thank the ex-police team. We work together to have this event produced so that you can have all the information at your fingertips. Your job now is to go out and be good stewards and ambassadors of the good news of the greatest country created ever in the world. Jamaica land we love, yes? So, Khalid, I see you have your offering pan. We're going to allow Khalid to have the final word. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you again, Consul General, for hosting this with us each month. Thank you, Commissioner Dr. Blake, for your words this evening. We do here at the museum what we call a cultural tie. As I mentioned earlier, there are forces trying to defund museums and libraries and institutions like these where you can get this kind of information, this quality of information free to use. This is how we ask you, thank you so much. This is how we ask you to help and give back and make sure that we can keep the lights on. $20, $10, $50, $100, I like those numbers. We will take the fives and other ones, but we like the 10s and the 20s and the 60s and the 100s. Whatever you can do, we appreciate. Thank you so much for you. If you see anybody with a basket, they are a volunteer. Please go ahead and make your donation. Oh, thank you so much. God bless you. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I am collecting my offering. And I'm thanking you in the name of the Lord. We call it the cultural tie. The cultural tie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. If you came last week and you did, thank you so much. Come down to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, come forward. We're going to take a nice big group shot. Go and be a part of a historic picture. We're going to take a nice big group shot. Come to the front, everybody. We're going to have one big group picture. While Big G gives us some music. Okay, let's come forward for the picture. People at the persons at the back.
If you haven't given your contribution, we're still accepting it. Thank you. We do take crypto and credit card as well.
We're going to take one group shot and then you can get your individual shots with Commissioner, all right? Let's come forward, everybody, quickly. If you love Jamaica, come forward. If you love Jamaica, leave from the back of the room and come to the front. Come everybody, come to the front, come to the front. Come Dr. Lewis, Sharon Winter, everybody, come forward. Let's take a group shot. All right, let's get the group shot together. One of the first things you must do is when you get an instruction, you come forward. What you waiting on? Patrick, come, I'm calling everybody, man, and I ask everybody, come. Touchman Angel, come. Group shot. Come, the group shot, everybody. We're going to take a nice group shot. Come, everybody. Group shot, group shot, group shot. When the commissioner talk, everybody have to move quick. When CG talk, we must move just as quick. All right. It's all right, man. Come. Commissioner, please join us, sir. Mr. John T.
They're not going to see me.
Young man,
I'm
don't
so
worry.
tall.
Come quickly.
I don't think we can have a picture.
All right, let's get a nice group shot. We're going to put this in the gainer tomorrow morning. Camera lady? All right.
You been to our electricity before?
No, it's my first time.
So what draw you this time?
Pretty much the same interest I most people from planning to move back to Jamaica at some point.
Basically, move back to Jamaica. Basically.
If you didn't have cash, we accept Zelle and PayPal. To give at islandspace.org.
And remember those, if you want to hear more of the commissioner, he'll be speaking on Saturday night in Port St. Lucie at the ex-police gala at Port St. Lucie. Are we going to take one with the ex-police and the commissioner? Ex-police and the commissioner.